A beloved princess gone in an instant. On August 31st, 1997, the unthinkable happened. Diana, the iconic people's princess, was killed in a horrific car crash in Paris. She was only 36 years old. That fateful night, Diana's life was cut tragically short and the world was left reeling. From a lavish dinner with her lover to the terrifying crash that ended it all in moments, her shocking death would plunge Britain and the globe into grief. Now, over 20 years later, the tragedy still shakes us to the core. Join us as we revisit Diana's final day and the unprecedented mourning that followed, reliving the story of a vibrant princess, her life lost so abruptly, so senselessly. The Princess Diana story, royal fairy tale to tragic end. She stepped into a real-life fairy tale when she married the future King of England. But behind closed castle doors, Princess Diana struggled under the crown's heavyweight. Her shocking, untimely death would stun the world. Diana Spencer was born in 1961 to British nobility with close royal ties. Was she destined to become a princess? Though painfully shy as a child, Diana blossomed into a kind, charismatic young woman. After working as a nanny in London, her Cinderella story began. Diana was just 19 when she got engaged to Prince Charles in 1981. Their televised royal wedding captivated over 750 million viewers globally. Diana dazzled in a voluminous gown with a dramatic 25-foot train. At first, Diana embraced her princess role wholeheartedly. The public adored her natural warmth and modern style. She had sons, William and Harry, in the 80s. But privately, Diana battled bulimia and depression. She felt isolated and betrayed by Charles' ongoing affair with Camilla Parker Bowles. Cracks formed behind the palace gates. In 1992, Charles and Diana announced their separation. Their divorce was finalized in 1996, marking the end of Diana's royal chapter. But Diana's story was far from over. After her divorce, she flourished into an adored international humanitarian. She devoted herself to charity work, championing unfashionable causes like HIV/AIDS. Diana warmly connected with the public, earning her the nickname the People's Princess. Her kindness and accessibility inspired people worldwide. But Diana's storybook life met a devastating end. In 1997, she died suddenly in a car crash in Paris. She was only 36 years old. The death of a people's princess, the tragic loss of Diana. Diana, Princess of Wales, was the very definition of a people's princess. When she died suddenly at the age 36 in a horrific car crash in Paris, the entire world mourned. Over 20 years later, her tragic death still casts a shadow. Diana's final hours in Paris were supposed to be a romantic getaway with her new boyfriend, Dodi Fayed. Diana was fresh off a Mediterranean vacation on the Fayed family yacht. On the evening of August 30th, 1997, the couple dined at the Paris Ritz owned by Dodi's father. Little did Diana know, her charmed life was about to come to a shattering end. After dinner, Diana and Dodi decided to head back to his apartment. They left the Ritz just after midnight on August 31st. Accompanying them that fateful night were Dodi's bodyguard Trevor Rhys-Jones and Henry Paul, a Ritz security employee.
What effect did the depression have on your marriage?
Well, it gave everybody a wonderful new label. It's Diana's unstable and Diana's mentally imbalanced. And unfortunately, that seems to have stuck on and off over the years.
Diana couldn't have imagined that only minutes later, she would be critically injured and fighting for her life. As their car sped into the Pont de l'Alma tunnel, Paul suddenly lost control and crashed into a concrete pillar at around 65 mph. Dodi and Paul were killed instantly. Rhys-Jones survived with severe injuries, but Diana was still alive, although unconscious and struggling to breathe, according to witnesses. The crash happened around 12:20 a.m. An off-duty doctor who happened to be driving through the tunnel rushed to help. Despite his valiant efforts, Diana had suffered grave internal injuries. Around 12:30 a.m., firefighters and emergency crews arrived on the chaotic scene. Some who were there have described substantial amounts of paparazzi photographers surrounding the car. Had the paparazzi caused the driver to recklessly speed into the tunnel? We may never know for sure. Diana was still alive but barely clinging to life when she was finally freed from the mangled Mercedes. She went into cardiac arrest on the way to the hospital. Despite working tirelessly to save her, doctors were unable to revive the severely injured princess. Her tragic death at age 36 was announced at 4 a.m. on August 31st, 1997. The people's princess was gone, her light extinguished forever. The shocking news plunged the world into sorrow and disbelief. Crowds of mourners gathered at Buckingham and Kensington palaces to grieve and leave flowers. The public outpouring of love and grief was immense. Diana's funeral on September 6 was watched by over 2.5 billion people globally. Prince Charles, Diana's sons, and her brother solemnly walked behind her casket. She was laid to rest on a small island at her family's estate. The world lost an iconic figure and compassionate humanitarian far too soon. Over 20 years later, Diana's kindness and impact live on through her sons William and Harry. Their memories of their loving mother drives their charitable efforts to this day. While her death left enormous sadness, Diana's life was one of meaning. Hers is an everlasting legacy of love, grace, and service to others. She remains the people's princess in our hearts forever.
According to press reports, it was suggested that it was around this time things became so difficult that you actually tried to injure yourself. Is that true?
When no one listens to you, or you feel no one's listening to you, all sorts of things start to happen. For instance, you have so much pain inside yourself that you try and hurt yourself.
The world lost its people's princess far too soon on that tragic night in Paris. Though her light was extinguished, Diana's spirit lives on through her sons and charitable legacy of love and kindness. Let us know in the comments, where were you when the devastating news broke? What is your fondest memory of Princess Diana's warmth and compassion? Please like if you learned something new about that fateful final day. Subscribe and tap the bell for more historical tragedies and mysteries. We mourn the tragedy of Diana's passing even decades later. Though taken too young, her inspirational spirit shines on. Thank you for remembering the people's princess with us today. Until next time.